Brand Finance has announced its 2020 ranking for the top 500 global brands. One Chinese company in particular shines, ranking 32nd overall with a brand value of $39.3 billion USD, ahead of PetroChina, Coca-Cola, and MacDonald's. In this list, the company's brand value has soared by $27 billion USD in just 3 years. In 2014, it debuted on Brand Finance's top 500 global brands, ranking at just 333. Drawing widespread attention from the business community, people want to know what kind of company is it, as well as the story behind its rapid ascension. The company, called Guizhou Moutai, is a publicly traded producer of high-grade Chinese liquor with an alcohol content of 50% and above. 90% of its market and consumer base is in mainland China. Why is a company that produces high-grade alcohol so sought after? How well has it performed in the stock market, and what is its business performance? While Moutai's brand value is rapidly climbing, its share price on the Shanghai A-share stock market has been rising. From 2015 to present, in just over 5 years, its share price rose from RMB 214 to RMB 1700, an average annual increase of 51%. On October 23rd, its A-share market capitalization was 2,154.79 billion RMB, or 323.2 billion USD, ranking first in Shanghai A-share market capitalization and valuing about 1.6 times the A-share market capitalization of ICBC, China's largest state-owned commercial bank. Behind Moutai's soaring brand value and share price are the substantial growth in its operating performance. From 2015 to 2020, in just 5 years, its operating revenue and net profit have hit record highs year after year, with average annual growth of 21% in operating revenue and 22% in net profit. In China, Moutai has the title of liquid gold and is synonymous with high-end luxury. In a 2012 report compiled by Hurun on China's rich brands, Moutai has become a luxury brand alongside Louis Vuitton, Apple, and Rolex. Moutai is a household name in China, but many people have only heard of the name and have never seen, let alone drank, the real Moutai. Many people in China boast of having drunk Moutai. Empty bottles of Moutai have even become collector's items for many people. According to the media Sina.com from mainland China, after the establishment of the Chinese Communist Party in 1949, standards were set specifically for Moutai liquor. Moutai was divided into 3 grades: an exclusive stock, stock reserved for overseas sales, and stock reserved for domestic sales. The exclusive stock is the best quality available and only consumed by China's central government staff. Liquor for export is produced to earn foreign exchange and is of the next highest grade. The liquor for domestic sales is being used by all levels, including the Chinese Communist Party members, government officials, and military departments. Some enter the market and are usually of a quality slightly inferior to the exported liquor. According to 2017-2019 statistics, Moutai's operating revenue, respectively, comes from 2 categories of liquor: the original Moutai and multiple sub-brands, with 90% of Moutai's sales revenue and 10% of sub-brand liquor revenue. The source of operating income is mainland China, which accounts for 96%, and overseas, which accounts for 4%. In mainland China, the lowest priced regular Moutai, a 500 milliliter 53-degree Feitian Moutai, is offered at RMB 1,499 at the JD.com online store. On the Tmall shopping site, the lowest price for the same Moutai produced in 2019 is RMB 2,829. The price of Moutai spikes as the vintage grows. Moutai Zodiac commemorative liquor is an average quality liquor available in the domestic market starting at 2,699 yuan a bottle for 53 degrees and 500 milliliters. Aged Moutai, the most premium Moutai you can see in the domestic market, starts at 11,999 yuan a bottle for 53 degrees, 500 milliliters. In May of this year, Chinese Premier Li Keqiang said that 600 million people in China earn less than 1,000 yuan a month. These people are struggling to secure even a basic living, and Moutai liquor has little to do with them. So where is all the Moutai liquor sold, and who are the people who drink it? The mainland's official media, the Daily Economic News, reported in March 2012 that an employee from the Moutai company revealed to the Daily Economic News that the annual direct sales to government departments at all levels accounted for about 15% of total sales at Moutai, and Moutai sales in Guizhou province also accounted for about 10% of total sales. In 2013, a number of media reported that 70 employees of the Guizhou Provincial Public Security Department jointly signed a real name reporting letter, reporting the former director, Ku Yedong, of corruption. The content of the report letter leaked some of the information on the whereabouts of Moutai liquor in Guizhou province. The Guizhou Provincial Public Security Department purchases more than 10 tons of Moutai liquor each year, and the former head of the department, Ku Yedong, takes 6 of those tons alone. The Guizhou Public Security Department purchases 20,000 bottles of Moutai each year. Calculated at 1,400 yuan per bottle, the annual cost for Guizhou Public Security Bureau to purchase Moutai liquor reached 28 million yuan. Ku Yedong's annual take of Moutai wine alone is worth 16.8 million yuan. According to the Daily Economic News report, a person in charge of hospitality and other office administration affairs from the district of Guiyang City, Guizhou province, provided the Daily Economic News with an application to fetch liquor from the Moutai distillery. The application showed that the district government department wanted 120 crates of Moutai at a time. The district staff said the liquor was mainly sent to the relevant departments in Beijing for the approval of relevant applications in the district. The person also said that every year the district government sends in a request to the Moutai distillery asking for wine 2 to 3 times, each time requesting more than 100 crates, calculated to be about 300 cases of wine per year. That is, the district government gives about 3,600 bottles of Moutai liquor to the various government departments in Beijing every year, which is worth more than a conservative estimate of 5.04 million yuan. The Daily Economic News also reported that the head of the district government office of another subordinate district in Guiyang City claimed that every year the hospitality of the district government office needs about a minimum of more than 100 cases of Moutai, 12 bottles per case, with a yearly consumption of about 1,200 bottles worth about 1.68 million yuan. It's worth noting, Guizhou is an economically underdeveloped province in China, with a generally low standard of living for its people. A person with close political ties from Zhejiang revealed that the province's taxation, land, and other departments serve Moutai when hosting officials from Beijing, the reason being that Moutai is more able to highlight the status of the visitors. Mainland media Sina.com reported that in February 2009, the Beijing station liaison offices of Xuchang and Luohe, 2 cities in Henan province, spent more than 660,000 yuan jointly purchasing over 750 bottles of Guizhou Moutai. The liquor purchased eventually turned out to be counterfeits. Media reports of this sparked public debate of what the purchase of so much Moutai is for. In addition to all levels of local government, another important destination for Moutai is the Chinese military. The PLA's 7 military regions, the Air Force, and the Navy all have dedicated supplies of Moutai. Additionally, some units and branches of the military also have exclusive, customized supplies of Moutai, such as the General Equipment Department, the North Sea Fleet, and the Nuclear Submarine Force. Many Chinese state-owned enterprises buy Moutai liquor in bulk directly from the Moutai distillery to serve important guests. Mainland media Tencent published a research article on January 27, 2018. In 2017, Guizhou Moutai sold 80 million bottles of Moutai liquor, 40% of which were used as gifts. The article stated, a person who had worked in the liquor industry for over 30 years and was in charge of a liquor business said that a tentative estimate of 80% of the annual supply is a group purchase for hospitality, as well as bribes, or was hoarded. Only about 20% of the remaining Moutai entered the public market, with only 10% of which may be bought by people who actually like to drink. Wang Chaocheng, chairman of the Beijing Shangchu Marketing Consulting Company, which focuses on alcoholic beverage consulting and is one of the top 10 marketing consulting agencies of China's local consulting industry, said, in reality, government procurement of Moutai does not only refer to special and exclusive supplies, with each local government purchasing in the local market rather through customized channels. Wang revealed that the special supply and exclusive products are actually between 10% and 20% of the total production of Moutai, although the proportion of government procurement and public consumption accounts for 50 to 60% of the total value of Moutai sales. The money to buy Moutai mainly comes from public finance, that is, the government budget, which is tantamount to taking taxpayers' money to drink high-end liquor. In 2019, the Epoch Times, the largest Chinese-language media outlet outside mainland China, reported that Moutai wine was once considered by outsiders to be synonymous with corruption in the Chinese Communist Party, becoming a special wine for military districts, military systems, and agencies. In recent years, it has often been used by officials as gifts and bribes. According to reports, the proportion of Moutai liquor supplied to the government and the military accounts for 60% of their total sales each year. Zhao Xiaozhen, a professor at the Department of Sociology at Renmin University of China, believes that Moutai's prices have risen over the years and public consumption has taken over the mainstream. Thus, public consumption of Moutai should be restricted. Most of the Moutai liquor purchased by all levels of government, military institutions, and state-owned enterprises is used for hosting and some for bribes. Of course, most of those being hosted and those receiving bribes are officials with power in their hands. Definitely not those with a monthly income of less than 1,000 yuan, nor those whose houses were forcibly demolished and have nowhere to appeal their grievances. Shockingly, there has been a case of the highly priced Moutai being dumped down the toilet directly. In January this year, China's official media, CCTV, in the first episode of the State Monitor feature film, reported that the former provincial CCP committee member of Guizhou Province, Vice Governor Wang Xiaoguang, was investigated for corruption. He had a collection of more than 4,000 bottles of Moutai at home piled in a room. For fear of exposure, he poured the 4,000 bottles of vintage Moutai in batches into his toilet at home to eliminate evidence through the sewer outflow. Wang Xiaoguang's wife watched him pouring the Moutai into the toilet and exclaimed, "It can't be thrown out, can't all be consumed, can't all be given away, can't all be poured away. If we knew this was going to happen, we wouldn't have done so in the first place." The Moutai wine that Wang Xiaoguang poured into the toilet was worth 5.6 million RMB, or 840,000 USD, at the lowest price for Moutai wine. Moutai is a symbol of high class and luxury and is officially known as the national liquor in mainland China, designating Moutai as the preferred alcoholic beverage for official banquets. In mainland China, Moutai liquor is almost always present at all important official banquet venues. Chinese Communist Party leaders like Mao Zedong, Deng Xiaoping, Xi Jinping, and others all love to drink Moutai as well. In 1972, then Chinese Premier Zhou Enlai hosted a banquet for U.S. President Richard Nixon during his visit to China, where he drank Moutai that had been stored for 30 years. Nixon was captivated by the purity, transparency, and richness of Moutai. The reporters filmed Zhou Enlai and Nixon toasting with Moutai with joy on their faces and broadcasted it to the world, making Moutai famous worldwide with the historic toast. Enlai ordered fishermen to brave the negative 20 degrees Celsius cold to fish for fresh abalone, resulting in 3 fishermen being frozen to death, one of whom was only 17 years old. His name was He Gao. The New York Times later reported the incident, and the Nixons lived in deep remorse because of this. According to French radio RFI, on March 26, 2018, Xi Jinping hosted a banquet at the Great Hall of the People to entertain the visiting First Secretary of the North Korean Workers' Party, Kim Jong-un. Some netizens noticed in pictures that the waiter standing behind Xi and Kim held 2 brown bottles of a limited edition Moutai in his hands. The Moutai is rare on the market, tagged up to 1.2 million bottles by a store on the JD.com online store. In other words, merely 2 bottles of the type of liquor in the hands of the waiter was worth more than 2.56 million. Taiwan's media, EBC News, reported this story with the headlines, Xi Jinping expresses hospitality towards Kim Jong-un with 5.9 million worth of liquor. Collector's experience, major heartache. In addition, Moutai is often found at large events, conferences, and banquets of all levels of Chinese government. That is why Moutai is available exclusively for the CPPCC and NPC. Attendees can drink to their heart's content. Moutai is also a favorite of many Chinese military generals. In January 2019, the Communist Party of China's former regional commander of the Zuni military in Guizhou, Kongjian, revealed a video showing the love many Guizhou generals have for Moutai, which circulated on the internet, leading to heated debates. Kang Jian, dressed in a military uniform, says on camera that he was diagnosed with moderate fatty liver disease after a medical checkup in March 2004, and drank our national liquor, Moutai, for 2.5 years after coming to work in Guizhou. In April 2008, he had another health checkup and found that he was free of fatty liver and all the indicators were normal. He also said, the strange thing is that all the 9 military sub-district commanders in Guizhou who drank Moutai do not have fatty liver. In 2005, the Chinese Communist Army commissioned a ready-for-combat Moutai jug. It was the General Logistics Department, which was in charge of money, supplies, and procurement, that was responsible for purchasing the Moutai. During a raid on the home of Gu Gunshen, former deputy head of the PLA's General Logistics Department, 1,300 crates of Moutai, worth the equivalent of 15.6 million yuan or 2.3 million USD, were found. Among all kinds of product brands in China, innate luxury status is rare in the history of Chinese brands. The 3 essential factors of luxury come naturally for it. One of them is craftsmanship and quality. Over the centuries of its history, Moutai has developed an extremely complex kuncha brewing process. In terms of texture, only a scant few other brands can compete with it. The second is scarcity. Only a small patch of territory in the town of Moutai, Renhao, Guangzhou province, can produce Moutai liquor. Thus, the production of Moutai is very limited. Thirdly is the brand style. Chinese Communist Party leader Zhou Enlai personally defined Moutai as the national liquor, and Zhou supervised the production of Moutai a couple of times. Moutai has very little circulation in the public market, and Moutai is highly sought after by the class in power. From the 3 points listed above, it can be seen that the luxury status of Moutai is inevitable and connate. Moutai, with its high quality and luxury feature, is popular among CCP officials at all levels of the Communist Party, the governments, and the military. Government expense has contributed to its impressive performance, as well as the soaring brand value. However, behind Moutai's glittering aura is the omnipresent corruption in the Chinese officials' circles.